Howdy, y'all. Howdy, y'all. Welcome to the kitchen. I've got a special treat for you tonight. It's a frittata that hits harder than Texas two-step. And the secret sauce is our Bacony Bits. The great thing about the frittata is you can use whatever leftover veggies you have to put in it. Essentially, what we're going to do is prep the vegetables. Then we're going to saute the onions and potatoes. So it'll heat the skillet. We've got the oven turned on to 400 degrees. And once we start sauteing everything, we'll get to a point, then we'll add the just egg, plant-based eggs, and then we'll add our big crunchy bacony bits, y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. If you have questions, let us know. Let me get turned on over here on the laptop so I can see you, because I can't see the camera from here. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask, and appreciate you being here. This is a brunch game changer. Now, depending on the size of your pan is going to kind of depict how many ingredients you need or the volume of ingredients. So I'm just going to dice this onion. Pardon the side of my face while I'm looking at the onion and using a knife. Going in for the dice here. Hello and welcome in. Thanks for the follow. So we'll get the onions diced, and what I'm going to do while I'm thinking of it is I'm going to go ahead, sit tight, I'll be right back. I'm going to heat up the skillet to get it ready to start sauteing the onions. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil in the skillet. In fact, because potatoes take a little more time, I'm going to set the onions to the side. Actually, I'll go ahead and put them in here. Depends on how you like to work in the kitchen. There's no right answer. It's just what works for you. Howdy, thank you for the hearts. Thanks for coming in. Now I'm going to take part of a baked potato. You have leftover potatoes of any kind, they'll absolutely work. In this case, I'm just going to use half of the baked potato. And I like to keep the skins on, but that's my thing. You can take the skin off if you like. I tend to cut it down the middle. Then I cut slices, typically. This potato is really well baked. And then I will take and dice this up as well. Welcome if you're just coming in. We're making an amazing frittata with plants. And an amazing frittata with plants. And a frittata, if you think of a frittata, it's like a quiche, but without the crust. So it makes it that much easier. I'm going to go ahead and take the potatoes, put them in the skillet. I'll have you join me at the skillet in a minute. Let me get these started. And like I said, a frittata can be anything you want to put in it. Got some tomatoes left. You know how they start to get a little wrinkly. I'll take these and add these as well. I'm going to go ahead and add the onion. And we'll head over to that skillet in just a minute. I'm going to dice these tomatoes up or slice them up, if I'm being more honest. A little more honest. It's slicing. Again, you can do them as far as cutting them any way you want. I would not suggest leaving them whole, because when tomatoes get hot and you bite into them, well, if you've ever done that, you know the experience. It can make a mess on you. So let me go ahead and dice these. And again, we're using just egg, potato, onion, both in the skillet. I've got some red bell pepper, jalapeno, I took the seeds out, and green onion. So there are lots of veggies in this. And then I just diced up some tomatoes. And then we've got the bacony bits and the just egg. So I'm going to take these over here. If you want to follow me and take a look at the skillet, I'll set these up and out of the way. And let me get what I like to use. This is my favorite $2 bamboo spatula. I can be a little rough on utensils, so I like using this one because I do break other ones sometimes. So I'm going to saute this up. That's got a little bit to go. I'm going to grab salt and pepper. And this is a pepper grinder or pepper mill. It's automatic. When you turn it upside down, it goes. Same thing with salt. And I use real salt because it's from an ancient seabed in Utah, Redmond, Utah. And ancient seas weren't polluted. Today's a little different. So I'm just going to take these. Sometimes it overshoots it. That allows for a little more cleanup opportunity. So I'm going to let this saute. Now I'm going to stay with the skillet. I'll be right back. I'm going to now add some tomatoes because we had some leftover tomatoes. And I'm just going to use that many. And then here's a mixture of red bell pepper, green onion, and jalapeno slices. I think that will be plenty. I'm going to soften these up a little bit, and at the same time, we're heating up the skillet. Now, notice that the handle, this is one that can go in the oven. You do not want to put a rubber handle that's not approved for heat of an oven in the oven. Sometimes I use cast iron. Today I'm using this nice new skillet my wife was kind enough to get me. It's not as big as a regular restaurant skillet, so it's a little smaller area to work in. But you can tell there's a lot of good veggies going on. And our Bacony Bits, the great thing about our Bacony Bits, and you can get them in our TikTok shop, they're featured right now. Just hit that button. Made from whole organic soybeans, 22 grams of protein per bag, no cholesterol, no saturated animal fat, and they're full of fiber and phytonutrients. And they sell really, really well. They actually outsell our jerky. So those are available in the shop right now with the cheesy bits that we also have, as well as 3 of our jerkies with a cookbook that shows you how to use them in a myriad of ways. On baked potatoes, on top of pasta, if you had a pot of beans and you wanted to add some meatiness to it, drop these in, they'll get soft, and they'll add a nice smoky flavor to your dish. Now I like to use Just Egg, a quality product. It's made from mung beans, easy for me to say. They're a yellow small pea-like, not pea, but pulse, tiny little round disc. You may know mung beans from a Chinese restaurant, those long sprouts that are white. That's what happens when they're grown, but they use these instead of chicken eggs to create a egg-like texture, egg-like flavor, and lots of protein. In fact, the protein in this is, there's 50 grams of protein in this one box. The protein in the Bacony Bits, there's 22 grams of protein per bag. So each serving is a tablespoon. So each tablespoon has 2 grams of protein. So you're getting, between the two, you're getting lots of protein. So let me just give this another once, twice, 3 times, 4 times a lady over. And again, you can saute this as long as you want, as brown as you want. I'm just going to let it go another couple of minutes, and then we'll be good to go. So our bacony bits are the secret sauce here. And, you know, there's a lot of issues with eggs, the cost of eggs today. And that's because the avian flu, they had to kill a third of the flocks in America. And so demand drove price up. I know that's starting to steady now. But this price up, I know that's starting to steady now. But this, no cholesterol, no saturated animal fat, and it's full of fiber and phytonutrients that you don't find in eggs. So, and you don't find in bacon either. So we're going to go ahead and put the egg in. Then we're going to put the bacony bits in. And then we're going to plop it down in the oven. So let me go through this one more time. Only made a little bit of a mess. It's almost like Christmas in there. Again, you can use whatever vegetables you enjoy. I like potatoes, I like onions, I like everything in it. And it's nice to have, it's not cooked down so much, it still has a crunch and a lot of flavor to it. So I'm going to take the Just Egg. Let me go ahead and shake this up real quick. That's a standard, shaking these up. Shake it up. And if you're commenting or anything, I'm sorry I can't see it at this point. I'll be able to here in a minute. But thanks for coming in. We're making a frittata. Think of a frittata as a quiche without the crust. And highly protein focused. I'm going to go ahead and top this off. That's 50 grams of protein in this one box of Just Egg. Now I'll open our bacony bits. I'm going to cut the heat on this because it's going to get plenty of heat in the oven. I have the oven set at 400 degrees. I'm going to sprinkle these on. And when you bake this, these will kind of drop into. I'll go ahead and push them down just in case. So there we go. Bacon and eggs all at the same time without the involvement of pigs or chickens. Plant-based goodness, this is what they look like. And we should put a little more. All right. And then all I'm going to do is this. You could put cheese in if you like. I'm not a huge fan of cheese, so I don't add it. But you could add cheese right now, or you could have added cheese on top of the vegetables and put the cheese in, or the eggs in. So however you like to do it, there's not a right way, except you just want to make sure it's cooked. And we'll do that. Go ahead and, let's see, trying to police myself behind me. Go ahead and follow me over to the oven. And we'll put this in. Like I said, I've got it set for 400 degrees. And I'm going to set the timer for 15 minutes. And I'll join you back over here. And thank you to my beautiful camera operator. Much appreciated for your support. Thanks for joining me. If you don't know who I am, I'm Brett. I'm with All Y'all's Foods, and we make plant-based proteins. We have a line of jerky, and then we have tasty toppers. Paper towel. And wanted to show you how to make a kicking like a two-step, Texas two-step frittata. So in the frittata, if you're just joining me, feel like a preacher. We used some leftover baked potato. We used 1/2 of an onion. I diced up some tomatoes. You know how the tomatoes start to go a little bit not fresh. Diced up some of those, and then also added some red bell pepper, uh, jalapeno and green onions. And we sauteed that up and then put in some just egg and our bacony bits. I'll be right back. So here's the secret sauce. There's the big guy, most popular plant-based egg on the market, and particularly helpful at this time. I want to share a story with you about the frittata, in case you didn't know it. I didn't know it, but I found it. And what it is the frittata originated hundreds of years ago in Italy. People would have leftover pasta, leftover veggies, leftover meats, and instead of doing a goulash, they added eggs to it. And it was actually called a frigere, and it became popular. And then it transferred over to America in the beginning when Italians were over here. And it's a brunch time staple now. And so it takes about 15 minutes in the oven after you saute everything to get it to set up. And then you can serve it with toast or anything. It's an egg dish, essentially, except in our case, everything's plant-based, the eggs and the bacony bits. And I will put it on a small plate and show you what it looks like as soon as it comes out of the oven. And I'll even taste it, make sure it's good. But hope you've had a good April Fool's Day, and your week's off to a good start. Look, I have a plate, and I'm going to grab my saute tool. Be right back. So I can serve it up to you. There I am. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask them. I appreciate you joining us this evening, and looking forward to seeing this frittata. Again, the contents of the frittata: half of a baked potato, some diced up tomatoes that were starting to, get a little soft, half of an onion, and then we sauteed that up, all those things up, to get ready to receive the bacony bits and the eggs. In this case, just eggs, made from mung bean sprouts. Just trying to police my area now. One thing I'm not always great at when I cook is cleaning up behind me. Usually I'm at the end and I go, oh wow, there's a lot to clean up. So I'm just going to get this ready for that to come. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I can see what the questions are if you've got them. Appreciate you joining us this evening. And we're just allowing that to cook. And it's going to take a few minutes. Do you have a number one brunch dish that you always like to have or serve or buy? Let us know in the comments. Ovens are a little bit slower than microwaves, but it'll be worth it. Let me take a look. We're only 6 minutes in. It's just about set. That isn't going to take 15 minutes. Great thinking. Tech support has been very helpful this evening. Much appreciated. Is that in the shot? Yeah, I think that'll work. All right. So we're gonna just give that a couple more minutes. You can pick up the Bacony Bits on our TikTok shop. Take a look. We sell them with our cheesy bits, which are new and delicious. And we also sell them with our jerkies that includes a cookbook with 10 recipes each. Our cheesy bits are really, if you grew up enjoying, the squares or the swimmers, but sometimes people do love those, who didn't? But then they decide to get away from gluten or dairy, or just eat cleaner food, if you will. Well, these are a big, crunchy, cheesy bit, y'all. So these come in a 2-pack that you'll find in our store. The great thing about these, 33 grams of protein per bag. And a portion from every bag we sell goes to Rowdy Girl Sanctuary, the first cattle operation turned animal sanctuary in the world. And these are made on an organic whole soybean base. And when it comes to sustainability, we use less than 10% of the land, fuel, and water to produce our proteins compared to meat protein. So there's a lot of great reasons to try it and buy it and try it. When you do, please share images, share a video of what you're doing with it. Love to see it. And we put these here. I think our frittata is done. So let me get out of the oven and I'll show it to you up close. I'm gonna go ahead and shut the oven and the timer off. This is a frittata with our bacony bits. Oh, nope, I was mistaken. It is not quite complete. Let me get that right back in there. It did not shake, so I thought it was complete. So we'll give that a few more minutes to finish setting up. And we look forward to sharing that with you as soon as that's done. Does anyone have any questions? You're welcome to ask. Have you tried a frittata before? Or maybe you just tried quiche and not a frittata? We'll give that just a few more minutes to settle up. Again, I welcome any questions or answers, and appreciate you taking the time to spend a little time with me this evening. And in the one bundle in our TikTok shop, it includes the Bacony Bits, the prickly pear chipotle, the prickly pear teriyaki. A thing about the prickly pear is actually the state plant of Texas. And so we use the juice of the fruit. It's a beautiful magenta color. I don't know if you've had prickly pear before, but it's a beautiful color, beautiful flavor, a little bit sweet, but unique, unlike anything else. And we use that in our marinades and our teriyaki and our chipotle, because it is a state plant of Texas. There are 7 regions of Texas, and each of our flavors represents a region of Texas. So the South Texas Plains, chipotle. And chipotle, by the way, in case you don't know, is a smoked jalapeno. The teriyaki represents the prairies and lakes, which is the central part of Texas from Dallas towards Houston. And our teriyaki leads with a ginger flavor rather than sugar and salt, which is what a lot of teriyaki sauces are. So we wanted to use the plants instead of the salt or the sugar. And then in that pack, we also have black pepper sea salt, and that's our most popular jerky flavor. So you can get the 3 flavors, the 2 teriyakis of chipotle, or the 2 prickly pears, including the teriyaki, the chipotle, black pepper sea salt, and our big crunchy bacony bits. Or you can get the 2-pack. You can get the 2-pack with just the bacony bits and the cheesy bits. So you have a couple of options there, and that again comes with our cookbook. The 3 jerkies and the bacony bits comes with a cookbook. And let's see. Let's take a look at the frittata now. Pardon my backside. Okay. I think it's cooked this time. Got a little brown. Those are our bacony bits with the potato, onion, tomato, red bell pepper, jalapeno. Almost grabbed that, but I didn't. And let's go ahead and cut into it so I can show you how it looks, how everything gets distributed in it. I don't know how perfectly this will come out. Again, you can use cheese in your frittata if you're a fan of cheese of any kind. There's a lot of options, and it will help bind it a little bit further. But like I said, I prefer not to use it just because of the oil. There's less oil. So it's not exactly beautiful. Let me show you the inside of the frittata itself. You can see the potatoes, onions, tomatoes, bell pepper, green onion, and so on. Here's the piece. I was wishing it would be prettier, but let me get a fork and I will show you how I'll do a taste test. Why not? And then, like I said, it's got our bacony bits on top, and we use just egg to put this together. Hot. Cooks up just like eggs. I think that's the name, why it's got the name Just Eggs, because it's just like eggs. And another upside, you never run into bits of shell. So, oh, here we go. Thank you, Jelly Bean. Appreciate that. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you very much. Let me go ahead and shut the oven off. There we go. And while it did not run as long as I thought it would, thank you very much for coming by. We're going to be doing more lives just about every day right now and show you different ways of using our products and letting you know what the benefits of those are. And again, it's simple stuff. The one thing about, I've talked about this before, there's a huge difference between baking and cooking. Baking is kind of a science, and you should follow the rules to get the right results. Whereas cooking, you can take a recipe and interchange a lot of things, seasoning-wise, and and have it land closer to what you find appealing. Though I would encourage you to follow recipes, see what they come out like, and then maybe adjust from there. So one last time, our Bacony Bits are available with our Cheesy Bits on TikTok Shop. You can get those together, just a bag of each. And you can also get a pack of our black pepper sea salt, our prickly pear chipotle, our prickly pear teriyaki with our Bacony Bits in our cookbook. Don't have it out here, my bad. So those two are available tonight. Get in the kitchen, try some of this stuff out, and thank you for taking the time to join us this evening. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll see you probably tomorrow. Thanks. Take care.